So in chapter 11, basically we start out with one of the things that happens in there is Algernon's like getting married or whatever. He's getting married to Frederica.
Frederick, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. Frederick. It's a female Frederick.
Old lady.
Old lady, and she's like kind of like bald. No, she's not balding. She's not the one that's balding. That's someone else. Yeah, someone else. And he's supposed to get married to her, and like he also like he's like pouting and kind of doing like his little like I don't want to get married kind of thing or whatever. And we talked about this in class today, and you kind of like said that you pictured him as being kind of like sitting on his bed in his underwear, wearing a bow tie, like
Yeah, I said he was undressed.
like undressed and stuff. Kind of like that stuck through my mind. And anyways, goes to the wedding. Like he gets a gift and a note, and the note says like it's time or whatever. And goes to the wedding, and he's like, find yourself a new boy toy basically, and like hops on his horse and like skedaddles.
Yeah. I also said like he was angry. He was like cussing or using foul language because like, he didn't want to marry her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I think, was it Clarence that gets the note too? At the end of the chapter, or is she sending the note? I know like Clarence got a note saying come at once or something at the end of the chapter.
I think
That's how that.
so. I know what you're talking about. I know where someone got a
I saw it
note.
at the end of the chapter.
Was it Clarence or is it Carlton? Lady Carlton?
Oh, okay. Was it Chester wrote a letter? I
Yeah.
guess. So at the end of the chapter, Lord Chester writes a letter to Clarence saying come at once, and then like Clarence basically gets up and drops everything and leaves and walks 20 and 4 hours.
Yeah, 20.
In chapter 12, it like basically started off. They're just like all drinking beer and like hanging and just like guys being dudes. And then Algie, he shows up, like basically left his wife. And then you have Clarence, who preaches to everybody and like encourages them. They're getting ready and hyped up, basically.
Later on, we get into like where the Duchess kind of sends like her two like were they twin sisters or something like that, and they're like preachers and stuff to go like stop the revolt, and they just kind of like doesn't work out at all. Like they get paraded around.
Yeah, they like, strip them down and harass them.
And then Clarence is preaching, and they keep like saying he keeps saying that they want like a clean like war, like a clean like revolt or something like that. Like no, I guess no bloodshed is what it was. And then in chapter 13, we get to where there's like they amass around 8,000 men, and then on the opposing side, the Duchess seeing that like the whole two ladies to stop 8,000 guys didn't work, so like she gets 10,000 men to like fight 8,000 men in a society and world where there's like men oppression, so like it doesn't really work out for her. Keep in mind that these like 10,000 men that she gathered together are also like combined with wardens who like imprison men and beat men for punishment and stuff like that. Not that they want to, but they kind of have to. And they're in jail because like the wardens are people like keeping these people in jail because like of women, like false reports of women abuse and stuff like that.
Okay, so yeah, this is like when they're about to like go fight, and there's like a group of women that shows up while like the men like under Lord Chester are like still at the camp to like go wish them luck. They're like the wives of the men and people that care about them, like people that support the women that support the revolt. And it's like men will reign once more was one of the quotes, and the housewife is like the place for women, is what someone said. And basically, I don't know, it like leads into like the convicts, like they're obviously not going to fight for the Duchess. They just like run away and like leave all their guns behind, and they're going to support the rebellion.
On that quote that you said, like it was really interesting because it was like we want it like it's. I think it was who was it that said it? I think it was I think it was Ingleby's like daughters that said it. It was like
It was Grace.
Was it Grace? Yeah, it was Grace. She said something along the lines of we want equality, but the woman's place is in the home. Or like we want to be dual masters, like masters of both like men and female be masters, or no masters or something like that. Basically equality. but the women's place is in the home. I was just kind of like, that's so like
Mhm.
16th century, like that's like a thing. Like I see where the author was like equality, where he thought equality was that, but yeah. And then chapter 14.
Um, yeah, they're like starting their like march, I guess, towards London, like to like take over. And basically the women like get overrun, and there's like literally not much the women can do. Like there's too many men. They're outnumbered, and the men are stronger. And basically, like the Duchess is screwed.
Yeah. And
From the
like
start.
she kind of like she tries to hold like I guess the Duchess's last stand or whatever, and she starts saying that like the uh, women are still better than like men and stuff like that. And it said like also that the Duchess like received a lot of insults like for like saying that the women are like better and stuff like that. Well, basically when she was giving her like little talk speech last stand thing or whatever, I don't know. Ultimately she loses, but pretty much it.
Yeah, and it basically like transitions to the conclusion of the men winning, and like obviously they're not gonna like kill all the women because they need them.
Yeah.
But and it's like the Great Revolt like was accomplished, and there's a parade in the street. But like the women who like supported the rebellion are also in the street too. Am I right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's like men and women in the street.
Yeah.
And basically the old religion is prohibited. And,
Which
yeah.
would the old religion would be the previously known as new religion, like, and the old religion would be the current religion, because they brought
Yes.
back the
Yes.
yeah. That's meta, I guess. I don't know. Is it meta? I don't know. And then they give the Duchess like a different name. What is it?
Mrs. Pendlebury.
Pendlebury.
It's like her third husband's name.
Yeah.
Last name.
It's kind of like ironic because like
She doesn't have power anymore.
yeah, she doesn't have power anymore, and like you lose like your, I guess your title, like
Title,
your
yeah.
all that stuff. The elders are kind of like still unhappy. Like the older females were kind of unhappy with.
Because they like grew. That's I guess old women are the ones who had all the power.
Yeah.
And they don't have power anymore.
Yeah,
So
and
they're
then
pissed.
yeah. Don't you believe that?
I'd be pissed too.
Should I believe that or no?
No.
Okay.
She cusses in class.
Yes. Has she?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and the old women still kind of like practice that religion like in private. I kind of picture the exact same, like the vice versa of what Ingleby and her husband, the bishop, practiced, like kind of how he like stayed in the background, like, and was still like
Yeah.
master
Mhm.
or like the head of the house or whatever, while Ingleby still,
Yeah.
yeah. I kind of feel like that's gonna happen. So like, you may see like another revolt in the future. I don't know. Dun dun dun.
Next
we
book.
we will never know.
All right.
All right, that's
So-
a wrap.